All right, team. Let's get it started. Everyone good? Hopefully you've come to the screens nice and calm today. All right, we had a good day yesterday. We're into FOMC day. We're mid rollover. Remember, rollover will continue all the way till the end of the week. Yesterday, we made some good money on that flush down. And ever since we took that big trade yesterday to the downside, the market has been in chop. All right, so if you did a good job in avoiding the afternoon session yesterday, right, and you've done a good job of avoiding overnight, unless you're a range trader and you're scalping each side of that sort of 100, 150 point range, there is very little to be doing in this market right now. But why do we chop? Why do we go sideways? Why do we build this liquidity? It's for the next move, all right? It's always for the next move. So let's talk about what these next moves might start to become in this chart. So I'll just clean up this daily before we get into it. Everyone hear me nice and clear? Hopefully you can all hear me. There we go. There's everyone. I can see everyone now. All right, into the daily then. So yesterday we had an outside bar. All right, we opened inside of Friday, inside previous week range. This Friday push, all right, was a look above and fail. All right, remember the balanced range right now from the previous week is down here. All right, that trapped buyers above here. Yesterday we used those buyers stops and we got that flush move to the downside. All right, so that's where we traded into. Now where are we? Bottom side of the range, because effectively this is look below and fail. This is look above and fail. If we measure this out in terms of a fib from the low to the high, we found a little bit of a bounce on that golden zone. It's what we kept talking about yesterday. We don't want to be short into that golden zone, at least definitely not on the first attempt. So what are we starting to do now? We're starting to see a flattening of the trend. Okay, you can see it. Strong Bollinger starting to go sideways. Strong 5-day starting to go sideways. This is your liquidity build zone, all right? This is where the market will make a decision. Now, either it feels like it's got enough bulls trapped in here for a new leg down because we have room to the Bollinger, all right? Or it has enough shorts trapped at the lows here, and its job is to go counter trend upside to produce that higher time frame, lower high. Remember, higher time frame on a daily and a weekly, if we zoom out, we haven't really produced a lower high. I know you're going to argue and be like, well, there's your pivot, and that's a lower high, and that's a lower high, and that's a lower high, and that's a lower high. But these bounces are nothing, right? At no point, if we think about a fib or a retracement, have we come back upside to reprice some of this, test this old level of support for a retest of the low. All right, and that's what the market's looking to do. Now, it might not need to do it. Like we talk about in a strong trending market, if the 20-day catches up down here, even if today is very negative, it's possible that we just continue downside, right? We've built liquidity out here for the first time in this drive. If you look at every other move in this drive, 1-day pullback, fail. 1-day pullback, fail. 1-day pullback, fail. This is multiple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a week's worth, well, over a week, 7 days, 7 trading days now in a range. Lots of liquidity being built here. If you are a trend trader like me, all right, you have to be very, very careful, all right? This move here was nice and easy yesterday. A move above here, a base above here, and a reclaim of that previous week or 2 weeks ago low, and a hold will be a nice trade, right? Counter trend, but it will offer some option for upside. Other than that, we are into sloppy conditions right around here. This is where people blow their accounts because they have no strategy, they become impatient, and they try and trade trend when we're not in a trending market. So just remember that. All right, nice and cautious. Remember, this week, defense. We play defense this week. This is not a week to go absolutely ham on the charts, all right? This is not that week. Dialing a bit more into it onto the hourly chart then. Make sure you can see it all nice and clean. Yesterday, we created a lot of chop and we created a big point of control down here, which you can see I've marked out 710-ish. 700 we said yesterday would be key, 710. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Got a bit of a head cold. Sorry, folks. All right. So that becomes key today. Previous point of control is becoming key. You can see this flag that we're starting to build out, these white lines right here, we're starting to build out a potential H1 bear flag. Now, the key levels here, other than that 700, this level here, all right, into and around 800, this is where we talked about it before, resistance, support became resistance, became support, and so far is becoming resistance, all right? And you can see the volume here is thick, all right? This is from yesterday. That volume down there, we built up quite a lot. Above it is thin. Look at this pattern. Thin volume, a little bit thicker here, much thicker here. Acceptance over 800, all right? If we drive up over 800 and we hold, remember, we've got a lot of stops in here now in this yellow mark, right? So we're double top there. If we get acceptance over here and hold, it opens up. It doesn't have to do it, but it opens up that reprice up towards 900s. Remember, this is thin structure. We just talked about it. Thin in here. You can see it in this big kill candle. So this can be a reprice. If it gets all the way up into 900, this can be a retest to then come back down. All right, we're testing supply. Where buyers became sellers, it might want to go and test up there. So if we get over 800 and hold, maybe looking for a drive up towards 900. Now, what I'd say is if you're going to take that long, there is no guarantee it gets up all the way to 900. It doesn't have to get all the way up. It can just pop up, hit this trend, come down, reprice 50%, come down. It can also look above 800 and fail. All right. When did we last see a look above and fail? Friday. Look above 20,000 and fail. Retest, here's the retest, and fail. Look above and fail. It's very possible, all right? So this is what I'm saying. Everything is on deck right now because we built liquidity to be used. For me, every long remains counter trend, all right? For me, we're clearly in a downside market right now. That will change, all right? Really, the counter trend long changes, not just about a clear move above here, but acceptance over 20,000 and this move here. All right. Does it do it today? Maybe in FOMC, maybe post FOMC, maybe never if the news is bad. All right. Maybe we just don't need to do that. And all the market wants to do is drip lower. That is very, very possible. Look at all the liquidity. Think about how many people are stuck in this right now. We talk about trading into people's pain. This is not a pretty market right now. That is not a trending market. That is a boxed in market. So above here becomes easier. Below here becomes easier. Be patient. Today is not a day to go full send, risk all your hard work. If you made a good day yesterday, for example, I had a very good day yesterday, I do not need to risk it all in a market where conditions are not perfect, right? These are not great conditions to be trading right now. That will change like we talked about. Above 800, we can think about the counter trend rally towards 900. In that squeeze up here, all right, if we do this, I'm taking profit all the way up because I don't know if and when bears come in for this move here. Maybe they don't come in. If they don't come in, all right, if they don't come in, this is how we will use liquidity, right? So if we get over 800, if we get acceptance over 900, and we can hold and build out liquidity there, and then acceptance over 20,000, then and then only am I thinking about a bigger long push up. Now, I don't know if that's today. I certainly won't be trading that if that happens in the afternoon. I will not be trading FOMC, but that is also possible. So we have liquidity here. If we use that, fine. But until that point, I'm thinking about any push up will be sold into. So if we're counter trend long, we're thinking about selling into it. If we go straight down today, all right, if we're just going straight down today, you need to be careful. If you're going to take this short here for a small look above and fail or a double top, whatever you're going to do, or even a breakdown underneath this flag, please be careful because you are not getting much range, all right? You've got 100 points here to here, 100 points here to here, all right? 1R, 1R. Your RR is a little bit skewed, so you will need to follow it down and you will need to be locking in here. We can see big area here. We held it. It can easily hold it again and just keep holding range. Underneath this, right, look below and stay heavy. Then you get that rotation back down towards previous week lows. All right, so lots to play for because we're in liquidity. You can see it all as we move up into the 5-minute chart. Just this chart here, we're going to move one screen up. Yesterday's liquidity. Come on, let me draw it. Here's yesterday's liquidity. All right, and then Asia raided it. All right, there's all the short stops versus here. Asia raided it. ran the stops out the market. So shorts got out the market, and then they rotated down, and then did what? Ran the buyers out the market, or at least most of them. Not all of them. It could come further down into 650s, but a lot of these buyers got run out. So yesterday, buyers were here, run out. Shorts were here, run out. Buyers were here. They actually got left in yesterday. Shorts were versus here, run out. Then new shorts versus here, run out. And then these buyers here, run out. All right. So we are just taking both sides non-stop right now. That's the market's job. It's making sure everyone loses. As a reminder, we're also in rollover. All right. So you want to be very, very careful. If it's going to use the liquidity from Asia and London, all right, this becomes available. But again, I'm not trading this shoulder. All right, this will need to be very clear and obvious for me to entice me into anything today. All right, I am on massive defense mode today. I'm not looking to attack this market. Moving up into the lower time frame, you can see everything the same. So really 800 and probably into 650, 660. That's your initial range for this morning. Let's have a little look over on the VIX. All right, VIX yesterday produced a decent drive upside, and it is holding at least 50% of its gains right now versus, what's this level? Versus Friday's close, basically, Friday's pivot. Now, if VIX continues to hold that, it can potentially build out a big old bull flag, which will be a right shoulder if it holds it. If it can hold, let's call it 2140. If VIX is able to hold that and produce that bull flag and right shoulder, it has squeeze potential up to 2250s. A breakthrough 2250s will allow it to 23. A breakthrough that, you're back testing old levels at 2350. We all know if the VIX is going to get up into those levels, this is going to add selling pressure on the market. All right, if you look at the Mag 7, they are all opening inside. All right, they're all inside bars. You have some gapping up, but still inside. Like Apple, small gap up, but nowhere near previous day high. Microsoft, small gap up, not near previous day high. Amazon, gapping up, tap previous day high, so far failing off it. All right, so still inside previous day. Google pretty much flat, nowhere near previous day high. It's at a midpoint. Google's got big old range yesterday. Lows were at 58s, highs were at 66s. So 8 points range, and it's opening up right in the middle at 62. Meta, small gap up, almost opening flat, nowhere near previous day high. Nvidia, the same. Actually, a decent gap up on Nvidia, but again, it is not above previous day high. So these are all inside bars. The only one which is potentially different is Tesla. All right, Tesla gapping up and above previous day high. If Tesla holds previous day high, let's just call it 230. That's the magic number today. If Tesla can hold 230, it has a drive up towards 240 possible. And look at this, market getting spready. So you've got 3 minutes into the open. So what is my game plan today? Sit on my hands, let it become clear and obvious. What I'm not going to do is get stuck in the slop and the chop. All right, don't do that. That is a newbie thing to do. Do not get stuck in the slop and the chop. And we trade for freedom. That includes our time. All right, we should not be on the charts trying to click buttons if there is not an ideal setup here for us. Let's get through some good mornings before this market opens. We've got just under 2 minutes. So good morning, Clint, Florida Man, Miguel, Glenn, Exister, Jeff, Christy, Coop, TR, Marek, Thumper, Liddell, Dopamine, Jesse, Julian, Radar, Mr. Slim, Indicator, my buddy Brad. Miguel C says, Trump to speak with Zelensky at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you, Miguel. That's very useful. Let's all remember that. Vince, Trentry, Peter, BU, Paul, Andrew G, Stephen, Mike, Jimbo, John, Cat, Lewis, and Calypso. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. Fantastic team here every single day. All right, so we are just under a minute left until we get into this open. All right, having a nice drive up off that view up. You can see so far, driving up off the view up, back into that key level, just under that 800. Remember, a break above 800 and a hold can potentially allow that counter trend squeeze up to reprice some of the H1. Every time we've come up there so far, we have found sellers. Remember, the market is in an inside bar. All right, it's in an inside bar. I would say, what is the key level here if we trade upside on the daily? I'd be looking to see how we react into 880, 900. All right, so if we get acceptance over 800, maybe there's a like counter trend squeeze up to 880, 900. Other than that, really not that interested this morning. Having a quick look at the book and a little bit of selling into 800. No big orders on the book this morning. No one massive on the book. And here is the open. So let's just let it settle down and go from there. Like I said, most of the mag gapping up, but all inside. It's important to know that. Most of the mag are gapping up, but they are all inside. Nothing printing an outside bar right now. So Tesla 2.25% up, Nvidia 1.5% up, Meta opening up 0.25% up, Google over 0.5%, Amazon 0.15% up, Microsoft 0.25%, and Apple 0.75%. That is where they're opening up. Here is your 800 test. Remember, it will need to base above this if it's going to open up a potential squeeze on this H1 to reprice. All right, so you will need a push here and a hold. It will need to hold. If it's unable to hold, it'll be another look above and fail. ES relative strength here, starting to drive, looking pretty good, but starting to find some sellers into 690 there on the ES. All right, so far there is no clear push above and hold. Remember, we will need a push above this level here and a hold and a pullback to hold for this move up here. Otherwise, you are susceptible to a look above and a fail, just like here, just like up here. All right, so just be careful here. If you're going to trade this, you must be careful because we're raiding stops here and we're very early in the session. Zoom this in for you a little bit. Let's move this into a 1 minute. There we go. So far, looking above, no hold. Not able to find a base yet. All right, so here was your sort of flag. This was what it started doing just before the open, and now it's cleared that liquidity out of 800, and we're coming back down towards range. So just be careful here. Liquidity on the book, fairly thin. They're stacking around sort of 10, 5 and 10 lots. No big player on the book right now. There's a 100 lot down at 600, but that's it. Again, I am not in a hurry to get involved in this market today. If we're going to hold here and really get going, we can think about that counter trend move up to sort of 880, 900. Big if and buts though, right? Big if and buts. So there's the hold. So far, it's starting to hold now, starting to have that push. Not too much volume coming in here, though. All right, not convinced on this volume bar yet. Russia and Ukraine exchange 175 prisoners. All right, so we have Russian news starting to hit the wire already as well. Remember, FOMC day, you are still in rollover, and we are still in an inside bar, in inside previous week range. Right, this is not a trending market. I cannot repeat that enough. Understand what the market conditions are. Trending market, very, very different to a liquidity building phase of the market. Coop, love how patient Alex is. He sets the bar. If you struggle with FOMO at the open and just cannot behave, then don't log in right away. Wait until 10 a.m. or even after the IB. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Coop. So many people come to the market and they're like, they click buy and they click sell and they click buy and they click sell, and then they wonder why they've just lost all their money so quickly. Just be patient, right? Just be patient. All we've done so far is a 36-point range, right? We know this market will give us at least 200 points range a day, and more recently, 500, 600, 700, 800 points. So no need to force our way into the market. And do you know what I've already forgotten to do? Is that New York Open. Let's always, you guys should shout at me. Every time I forget that, shout at me to do it. Here is our New York Open. All right, so this has become a key level. And let's also do anchor off that New York Open as well. There we go. And let's just see. ES looking pretty good here. All right, had a good drive up, pull back inside, held, starting to try and drift higher. All right, but like I said, any long today is counter trend. I don't fully trust the longs because they can be look aboves and fail. So we're going to need something to move the market if we're really going to get going up there. All right, Tesla now just under 4% up on the day, having a decent move this morning. Remember we said a hold of 230, absolutely key on Tesla. Nvidia 1.75% up. Meta just gone red on the day, so gone green to red. Google just over 0.5%. Amazon has just gone green to red on the day. Microsoft just under 0.5% up, and Apple looking pretty good today, 1.11% up. But remember, it's underneath that key level of 220 on Apple. So again, not holding anything yet, coming back towards those flow zones. Again, this looks very much like a look above and fail so far, doesn't it? There's your 800. Have we held above it? No, we haven't. Wick. Okay, wash all the buyers who came in playing the breakout. All right, so we are being patient here for that reason. We know that's a key level. We absolutely know it's a key level. How we respond over and over again is going to be key. It's very possible today that we do absolutely nothing and we chop in a 100-point range just like yesterday until we get that Fed rate decision. Remember, all the liquidity we build now, all the liquidity we built yesterday, as soon as they do that newsprint, they will go and abuse all those stops. Think about how many stops in the market. Think about what the Fed likes to do, okay? Even if it's a pause, even if it's no raise, which is what we're expecting, can easily swipe up, take one side, swipe down, take the other. We're only talking about 150 points. Very easy to see a news candle, bang, bang, everyone out the market. Then it will make its decision. Julian, I come to Alex when I need patience. Yeah. Well, you know why I have patience? Because I had many, many years of not having patience. I had to learn the hard lessons. It's why I made the course. It's why I trade with you lot. I don't want you to have the hard lessons that I learnt. Pow, good afternoon, blown accounts. Yeah, exactly. All right, so look above and fail so far, setting up back inside range. This is exactly why I'm being patient today. Back inside the range, right? So we swept Asia. Let's have a look. So London swept Asia lows. New York swept Asia highs, and we're still in here. So it still has the chance to do this, but remember, if it does this, it's counter trend, and we want to join up here. I'm not guessing down here. I do not care about trading anything in here. It's slop. Not interested in trading the slop. Quite happy sitting on my hands today, honestly. Think about that. Don't judge yourself by each day. Did you have a good day yesterday? Do you need to trade today? Do you need to execute? We can execute if and only if something A+ sets up. We do not need to force our way into this market. So back towards VWAP here. ES still above its VWAP. SPY at its VWAP right now. VIX still basing out here. VIX doing exactly the same. It's basing out, but it's holding the key levels. Remember, if VIX starts breaking out of this like flag that we've got on like a big 5-minute from yesterday's high all the way down to current low, yesterday's low or afternoon pullback low, if we hold that and we break out that flag, that's going to make that inverse right shoulder and we can really, really get going. So SPY down to its VWAP. Let's have a look at the Qs here. Just make sure I zoom in a little bit. Qs underneath their VWAP. NQ coming into VWAP. And so far, that look above has failed, isn't it? Look above has failed. Had a chance to base, couldn't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks, and back under we came. So back to VWAP. I wouldn't be surprised if they find a bid here, trade back up to the 930, and then sell it again and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. What are your Asia and London times? Let's have a little look for you. All right, so Asia, I'm running from 8 o'clock to midnight. London, I'm running from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Those are the sort of kill times for those for me. Like I said, finding a bid here, wouldn't be surprised if it comes back up towards this New York VWAP and New York Open, and then maybe just chops around for a bit until it makes a decision. Would not surprise me at all. All right. Slow, 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 slow. Be patient today, all right? Today is a day to size down, not to size up. Today, if you're going to trade FOMC, my advice would be do not trade your PAs, all right, or trade small size. You are better off, all right, just being smart. Maybe trade some evals, maybe trade sim. If this is your first time, I'm just getting through emails here. If this is your first time trading FOMC, all right, if this is your first time trading FOMC and rollover, don't learn the hard lessons, all right? Do not learn those hard lessons, or don't learn them the hard way. So ES trying to find a bid here in front of its VWAP. SPY is reclaiming it, QQQ into it. NQ above it, like we said, expecting sort of a drive up towards that last VWAP and maybe chop back down, which is what we're starting to get. All right, so what we just did here was trap buyers up here, encourage sellers to come back into here. They covered here, going back up. Do we find sellers here to come back down? If we're really going to get heavy, all right, then we can think about a move back down into the low side of London. But right now we're holding London highs. So holding anything or sweep or hold of like 40 and 50s, we can stay up in this top side of the range. Let go of that 40 and 50. There is a trade down to 650. That trade down to 650 will take us to the lower side of this giant bear flag we're building out. You're like, Alex, what are you on about right now? All right, if we let go, all right, right now we're soaking off London high. All right, it's trying to do this. If we build liquidity out here and these buyers let go, there is a trade back down to here, sweep this, and maybe get down into this, right? Until then, I'm expecting just choppy action here. It's told you, I want to chop here. I want to chop here. We're trying to hold above. We're chop. Above here, there's a trade. Below here, there's a trade. In here, there's no trade for me. There is no trade for me. BU, I've decided not to trade today. BU, I do not blame you. You've got 20 PA accounts. You're taking your time. No need to force, right? Think about how many people bought that 800 break and got slapped. We just don't have multi-time frame alignment right now. And that's the key. Having ADHD makes it so difficult just waiting. I'm sweating here. Hey, man, just remember, it's just a day, one day out of your career, right? One day out of your career. I always say one good day will not make your career. You'll want to trade again and again and again. But I tell you what, one bad day will absolutely ruin your career, all right? You hear these horror stories of people in the pitch years ago who got FOMC days wrong and, you know, lost leveraged 1.2 to $2 million because there was a cut that they weren't expecting. It happens, all right? That will ruin your career. I tell you what else will ruin your career is PTSD. If you keep blowing up, you know, too many PA accounts because you can't learn from your mistakes, you will start to get PTSD. You will start to affect your ability to trade. You will second guess absolutely everything. So ES now into its VWAP here. So ES trying to come down into its VWAP here, trying to find a bid. So we're not fully aligned here in terms of VWAPs. Maybe the market comes and tests this previous day point of control that we have marked out. Like I said, if we're going to stay heavy, if this isn't a sweep, if we stay heavy versus 50s, we stay heavy versus here, there's a trade further down here. Starting to just melt now, isn't it? And what is making this market roll? Meta starting to go red and sell. Whole market starting to give back a little bit. Heavy. Down towards previous day point of control and previous day close. Remember, gap fill, we should have talked about this really. Gap fill is to this yellow line, isn't it? So there's the bear flag and they're selling. It has never retested this, unfortunately. It's just been a straight sell. If there was a dip here and a sell, this is the one trade we talked about we might take today. And once it let go of that London high, it might be a trade back down to there, but it's already repriced a lot of it. Feels like it's in a rush to go lower here now. So coming in towards previous day point of control and previous day close. All right, previous day point of control, previous day close, the yellow line. So if it's going to be efficient, it will close that gap. ES has still not swept the same levels we've swept. It's still holding on. All right, ES will need to break down underneath 675s. Just trying to find a bit of a bid here. Might trade back up towards VWAP on the ES, see how it reacts there if it does. Vanderman, I def have that from Forex in 2022. Still hits me when you're wrong side of the trade. Oh, PTSD, you mean? Yeah, I mean, it's very, very common. If you don't iron out the issues early and you create bad habits, then that's what happens. If you're the person that's getting in a trade and you're instantly not feeling good, you know, even if it's going your way, if you've got like lack of confidence, it's probably some form of PTSD. It's probably because you don't have a set system that you're confident in. So you need to build a system and back test it, Build that confidence. You should put a trade on knowing, hey, 60, 70% of the time this trade works. And when it doesn't work, it's okay. I take my stop and then I trade again. So point of control here, previous day point of control. Remember, this is where most of the volume was traded yesterday. If we look left, think about this. How much volume was traded here? The biggest volume was traded here yesterday, all right? So we've traded down into that. So why we're finding a bid away from it right now. If we react up here and there's a sell up here, then there's potential to close the gap and go lower. Remember, ES now trying to go back towards its VWAP. We're not fully aligned. VIX trying to get going back towards PDC. We just have to see what's what, all right? But we've just swept one lot of levels out. It might just, if it reclaims here, it can go all the way back up towards those highs very, very easily. Remember this, the market's job right now is to just take everyone's stops out. Build liquidity, take them. Build liquidity, take them. 108 point range already this morning in the first 15 minutes. So now you have your opening range. If you're playing a 15-minute, here's your orb high, here's your orb low, you're stuck beneath it. So if we reject here, maybe a trade, right? We trade up here, maybe a trade. These were both trades we talked about before. This is a key level here, but ES already looking good, reclaiming. This is the back test of those 40s and 50s. If it gets heavy here, there's potential for that gap fill. If it reclaims it, we can squeeze all the way back up towards high of day in the New York session. There we go. So there's the squeeze. Bang. But do you want to trade this right now? It's what you got to ask yourself. Do you want to trade this? Everyone's getting wrecked right now in this. So hold of PDC. Now came in, swept all these guys out. If we can build here, it might open this. This is when I'm interested. Other than that, it's not offered anything for me to trade. I mean, watch your ATR. That was no joke. That quick push there from 36s all the way up to 93s. Whoa, almost 70 points. Yeah, very nasty. Very, very nasty. Someone covering there, I would say, on previous day point of control. ES going back for high of day. Remember, we are, I'm going to repeat this, we are inside. Everything is inside. We're currently inside opening range, your orb. We're currently inside the overnight session. We're currently inside the previous day session. We're currently inside the weekly session. When we're inside, we're expecting to get chop, all right? Garage MC, inside the daily. Can see I'm completely uninterested in playing this market right now. Nothing on the book either, really. Book pretty thin. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. How many people can we wreck is the game this morning. Yes, unable to print a new high here, but it's not far away. There we go. There we go. New high of day on ES. ES trying to get going here. Question is, can it sustain a bid now on the ES and help drag the NQ up with it? That would be the question here. NQ, again, going to need to get above that 800 and base above there. Base above there potentially opens it up for that squeeze. If it can't base above, it's going to do what it did this morning, the look above and fail. So can we build liquidity here, ideally above here for this move? All right. This is still counter trend, all right? So if you take a long up here, it must be a scalp. I would not be taking a long unless it builds out clear structure. Very easy for this to just go, again, fail, or we're going to go all the way back down, right? Until we're outside of this. Paul, can you explain how the market moves so fast in literal terms? Well, it's all about volume. Look at the volume. That big candle was volume, all right? So if you have not that many sellers here and a buyer or a seller who covers, a short seller that covers there with big volume, it will eat those up quickly, won't it? It'll just keep going up, bang, 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 because you need someone the other side of the trade, all right? So if there's a big buyer here and there isn't a big seller here, right, then this buy just keeps going up and getting filled. It's all about volume. Volume tells the story. So ES so far looking above. Does it base here? Does NQ build out something to go and drift higher now? Again, we're not above those key levels. We're not even above the New York Open yet. My garage MC voice, Coop. We did it again. Market trapped again. I love garage, man. I've had it on repeat the last week when I've been in the gym. Old UKG playlists. So back to the 9:30, the New York Open. All right, we're back to that level. Starting to try and build out that right shoulder, isn't it? It's trying to build out that right shoulder, but this right shoulder is a little bit low for my liking. But here we go, testing back towards 800 now. So either this gives a giant old squeeze up, or they do that look above and fail again. There's some selling on the tape into 800 here, stacked up 50 lots, 95, 800, and then through that all the way up to 820. Remember, we're into that H1 imbalance here. Think about that kill candle yesterday. That's what we're sort of repricing. We expect a lower high to be formed versus that H1 candle. All right, if everyone's like, what are you on about? We expect a lower high to be formed either here or here. All right, this is the thin volume. So acceptance above that, we drift higher towards this for a back test. If it can't get acceptance above that, they're going to protect this volume and we just trade sideways. All right, so the options are, think about this as a pattern. This, or this and fail, or this and reclaim. That's the last option. That's the last thing you should be thinking about, but that is the last option if that's possible. That's what the market's deciding right now. My argument would be, why would it decide that before we have a Fed rate decision? Yeah, no worries, Jack. So above that New York view up right now, buyers in control who came in this morning, just about all the time we're holding that. We're right at that New York Open. We are in a 108-point range and there's not much to do. For me personally, not much to do. ES looking stronger of the two right now. VIX new low of day. So VIX starting to break down here, interestingly. If it can't find a bid and VIX starts to really let go, where can we trade down to? Let's have a look. We can trade down to an old pivot into 21s. That would give some short-term relief on the market if we do that. If this is a look below and fail on the VIX and turn inside, then we get look above and fail on the spiders. But the spiders trying to get going here. But look how choppy this has just gone sideways now. And we've got 8 minutes into a new hourly and to a new 4-hour bar. Just 8 minutes left. New high of day here on ES, testing again. Yeah, Apple did say hold my beer. Up almost 2% now, but still crucially under that 220 level. Underneath that 220 level. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fat finger. No, 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 no. Out, 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 out. Jesus. Wow. Instantly out. I went to move my screen, pushed the wrong button. Luckily, though, Alex is a smart boy. He doesn't have anything linked and he's on a micro contracts. So that didn't cost me anything. Cost me 50 cents or whatever it was. Okay, so watching this key level, we can keep thinking about it. These same levels, everything we talked about this morning. Can it find a bid? We're thinking, can it find a bid and a hold above? That's all you should be thinking right now. Can it find a bid and a hold above? There we go. So starting to try and squeeze here by the looks of it. And are we going to go up to the top side? That would be the question I'm thinking right now. So that inverse head and shoulder starting to play. It's a shame it built it a bit lower. ES built it much nicer, built it above. And there's a potential for that move. Now, top side of this trend would be 850. Through that, you're looking at 880 and all the way up to 900, 920 if it really, really wants to get going. Those are the plays. This is the first time we've actually had a decent push here on volume. So it built out that shoulder, chopped around a bit. If you took this, well done. Pay yourself a little bit here and pay yourself into these levels. Remember, it's counter trend. It is a counter trend long. It's repricing some of that kill candle yesterday. At some point, we would expect a lower high to be built on that hourly. All right, think about it. At some point, we expect a lower high to be built on the hourly. Somewhere here or here, and then drift back down. If we get stuck here, we go lower. If it holds here, we attempt to go higher. That's what you're in right now. Still no trade for me. A nice big fat finger that cost me $1.90. That's all it did. You guys probably can't even see that. Cost me a whole $1.90. Yeah, new hourly candle, new H4 candle coming. We also have Trump speaking, apparently at that time with Zelensky. So also need to be aware of that. Trumpy boy. So into the top side of this big bear flag trend up here, this white dotted line. That's the big H1 bear flag trend. Takes you into 850. Through that, there is a trade up to sort of 900. That's where it might want to drift up to. That's back testing old demand, which should become supply. Some point expecting a lower high to be formed. If they start reclaiming 900 and building liquidity up there, a giant inverse head and shoulder is definitely possible. Yeah, you've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes left. Until that new H1. So tapping into the top side here of that trend. Right here. That's the top of the bear flag. Oh, wrong chart. Right here, or you can see it on the other chart anyway. Right here, top into that. If we drift through this, we're going to back test towards up here. 900, 920, that kind of level. If we get through this, you don't want to be chasing up here. Look how extended we are from flow zones. Think about what the breakout was right down here. It's unfortunate it built this liquidity under 800. You wanted that to build here. It's a much safer trade if it built here because this opens up that move. Unfortunately, ES built it much, much better. ES built it above the key level. 2 minutes left. I'm looking at the daily as well, right? I'm looking at that old daily open. 880 also seems key. VIX got absolutely crushed there, by the way, all the way back down to 21s. Look at the VIX. Just absolutely crushed on that last move. Back down to that 21 we just talked about. So failing previous days, key level 2140, 2130, slapped all the way back down to 21. It has the ability to find a bid here between 21 and 20.70. So about 30 cents of range down here on the VIX if it wants to find a bid. Think about this on an H4 now. Slowly, slowly. Let's see what we get. New candle coming, 1 minute. New H1, H4 candle coming in 1 minute. Remember, we've started repricing this candle. This is what we were talking about. We've started to reprice this candle. All right, acceptance over this can allow a squeeze. We're already to the top of the trend. We can come right the way up here. If it sets a lower high here, then we're thinking about a short back down to the origin where we broke out from. So if it sets a lower high at 900, there's a possible trade back down towards 800-ish. At least for the first stop. If it wants to keep going lower, it can keep going lower. Nice and patient. Hey, at least more than half of you right now has not smashed that like button. Come on, guys. Give me that thumbs up on the stream. I know we've not taken a trade yet. We're waiting for the move, which it's done right now. It just built the liquidity in an unfortunate zone here. Don't want to get chopped up. And this was a high-risk trade just because of where it built it. Again, if it built it here, much better trade. Here's your new H1, H4. Right, so you can think about old H1 high is here. Acceptance above. Look above, fail. Apple really off to the races, over 2% up now. Now cleaned out the old H1 high here. If it can't get acceptance above that, it can come right back into the old range. And it is Trump talking, that's the other thing. I've not seen anything from Trump yet. I can't remember who said that on stream. Was it Miguel? Yes, sir. All right. So it's trying to flag here, but again, extended from flow zones right now. And we're into that big old bear flag trend. This white line, again, acceptance over that. We squeeze higher and reprice. It has like another 50 points left in it if it really wants to keep squeezing here before we come into a key back test levels. SPY not getting too far from that level already. SPY get already back towards yesterday's previous day high. So that's what SPY is going for. We've got a long way to go to get that in the NQ. We need to be all the way back up here. I don't think we get that high on the NQ. That flag starting to pay now as we drift higher in this market. Remember, through here, if it gets acceptance through here, we can drift up towards the 900s. If we fail back inside that old H1 level, remember, we've peaked above the H1 previous high, the old H1, H4 high. We just peaked above it. If it fails back inside that, we can come back down towards that New York Open. That was the danger of trading up in this location. Location not ideal up here for a new long. They're stacking bids down at around 790 now. 790 down to 775. 150 lot stack, well, 200 lot spread into 50 lot bids, full 50 lot bids. And nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is we're over that 800. If you took that break, if you decided to take that flag, make sure you're paying yourself some money up here. You must be paying yourself some money up here. You're over 50, 60 points up. You must pay yourself and hold runners to see if it wants to get up into here. Do not be adding up here. You do not know when they set a lower high. You do not want to get caught in this. Scouting around for news right now. VIX still failing underneath 21 right now. Remember, this can keep drifting down a little bit, VIX. It can come back and test 20.70. That'll be the next level. If it gets weak under that, it goes to previous day low. We go previous day low on VIX, then we take up previous day high on the ES. SPY very near previous day high already. So cash very close to taking that out already. So squeeze continues here in this market. Have a quick look at the mag. Tesla 2.32% up, Nvidia 1.75% up, Meta just over 0.5% up, Google over 1% up, Amazon 0.5% up, Microsoft almost 1% up, and Apple over 2.5% up right now, 2.67% up, having a decent day. It's looking to backtest that 220 probably. So squeeze continues. Repricing that H1 like we talked about. Squeeze continuing upside here. Now, if we reclaim all these key levels, so one thing you need to think about in this afternoon, I would expect them to try and produce a lower high somewhere either in this candle or versus this. If they reclaim this and they build this liquidity out into FOMC, this is definitely a potential play upside. All right, this is a bigger squeeze play upside, especially if we get acceptance over 20,000. Acceptance over that is a bigger play upside. But until that, I'm thinking this kind of move here, unless we get over 20,000. That's not ideal. Deleted the wrong one there. Okay, no trade for me this morning. I would have happily taken this if this had come back down to here or if this had built around here. I just wanted something to come and back test this level here, and I would have happily got in small size for this move. Starting to see Russian news now. Yeah, exactly, Coop. And SPY very close to previous day high here. So 565.05, I think I've got it at, or 03, somewhere around that. SPY almost taking previous day high now. SPY doing that move. Security advisor Waltz. I spoke to my Russian counterpart about Trump's efforts to end the war in Ukraine. So we're starting to see some of this war stuff come out. My Russian counterpart and I agreed that our technical teams would meet in Riyadh in the coming days to focus on implementing and expanding the partial ceasefire Trump secured from Russia. So some ceasefire news starting to come, and positive news for the market. So here we go, starting to back test now. That 900, so 100 points done already. Maybe I did miss out on that. We talked about this move. It's just unfortunate. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Not almost did it. Didn't come quite where I wanted it to. Drifting higher here. Squeeze in motion here. So 900 now on deck. Remember, acceptance between 900 and 20,000 will allow a bigger right shoulder to be built for a bigger squeeze this afternoon if it wants to do that. Previous day high now taken on the SPY. Not there yet on the ES. On the SPY, it's been taken. Starting to come into some congestion areas now on the ES. So the old New York high from yesterday definitely taken. We're taking out the old IB high. So that's how I know we would have left that New York at IB high. The big level here. Do we sell off versus this level? Right, into 900s, remember. Repricing, remember we expect a lower high to be formed on the higher time frame at some point. So far just a squeeze up. No short trigger yet, but we are into short location. For sure, we're into that lower high type location on the market. You can see it here. Where's the transition? Right here. We're getting very close, filling most of it into 900. So this kill candle, we got into thin volume over this, and we repriced into this candle, into where we broke down from yesterday. So this was the move here. Unfortunately, this move here, we wanted it here. It's just me being fussy, but that's how it is. So 900 on deck. Back testing where we broke down from yesterday is kind of I'd say 920. If we get through 920, all right, and we start chopping between 920 and 20,000, that's where we think about more potential upside being built. If it builds out liquidity there, if it traps too many shorts there, then it's setting a potential squeeze for later, especially if they like what Powell says. Yeah, I had fat fingers this morning. I know. It's all right. That's me trying to move. Do you know what it is? It's using the control button, getting confused between when I'm on here, I don't need control. When I'm on Ninja, I have to press control to move the chart. And then if I accidentally tap G6, which is next to my control, it gets me into a trade. So that is the fat finger. All right, so 900 tapped here. So everything we talked about playing out, did any of you actually take that long? Did any of you get any of this? Either this one or that continuation. It's played out nice and didn't come deep enough for me. I wanted that RBS back test here. This would have been really good. They give me 100 points with very low risk at that point. Did any of you get it? Maybe some of you took it. Nice, yeah, some of you got it. Steve C got it, Clint got it, Vince got it. Very nice team. It made sense. It made sense to trade up to here. You must be paying yourself at this point, though. Pat got it. Lyndall got it. Make sure you're paying yourself up here. Daniel got it. Trentry. Glenn got it. Oh, it's nice to see you all get it. Such a genuine move that you got suspicious. Yeah. So finding some selling in front of 900. I don't think we've quite taken 900, have we? Oh, we have by a couple of ticks. 3 ticks. Still think this can drift higher on a squeeze. Waiting to see if there's a little blow off top and then they create that lower high, or if there's a big slam down and a pullback inside to offer that short location. Right now, we're still in trend up. We're definitely building. Look how we built liquidity. There was some liquidity built. There was some liquidity built. Here, there's no liquidity built. Straight up. So blow off top would be nice, and something like this might offer it. Any hold above this area, though, and I want to be very, very careful, because that is the area then. If we zoom out, we build here, and we use this, this can be this, right? This is what I mean. Press control there. You can see I can press control when I do that. It's switching between Ninja and TradingView can be a pain sometimes. Make some errors. All dips so far being soaked here. VIX just broke underneath that key level of 2070s, trying to back test it. If it stays heavy versus that, VIX goes for previous day low. If VIX goes for previous day low, ES goes for previous day high. We're starting to see some selling in here, though. Still no bearish structure, though. Very, very bullish in structure so far. It would need to flip some key levels for me to really have an interest in anything. Again, today I am in defense mode. Absolutely in defense mode. Rob P made my bag and got done. Why am I not using session volume profile? I use SVP on the H1. I've got it underneath. I don't use it on the main chart. So that 200 lot stacked into 50 is still down there. You can see SVP on any chart that you want to put it on. Of course you can. It's session volume, which it will show you the session that you're in and the volume of it. Doesn't matter what time frame you're in. Only one it probably won't show it in for you in is a daily. We'll struggle to show you on a daily. I mean, it will show you bar to bar, but it would be hard to see it. Right, so a bit of a flat top here. I still expect like one sort of drive higher at some point, but starting to roll now back towards flow zones. Remember, there's no structure here till down here. I'd really like to see a blow off and then a fail. Don't want to be joining short here. There's no reason to join short here. Flow zones are still upside right now. Still has targets. Only took 900 by a tiny bit. I need to see a strong sell and a rejection for me to think about getting short. And remember, this can just sweep some guys out to go higher right now, and that's what it feels like it's trying to do. We did get into supply at 900. Are the questions getting deleted? No, I think they only get deleted if you're like, it's not me deleting it, but if people are using caps or too many, what do you call it, emojis, then Nightbot will delete it. Yeah, I never delete anything in chat. Yeah, exactly. It's just if people use caps or something because it thinks it's spam. That's all it is. But I always try and undelete them and read them. Yeah, it's just Nightbot. No, I know you won't. I was just explaining what happens. Some people don't know. UK races to avoid the worst Trump tariffs. What? I just see that hitting. Trump tariffs talks with tech tax. Financial Times. I mean, that's... Who cares? All right, so still trying to build out this liquidity to go higher here. All right, so we've swept a little bit. We swept this guy here. Like we said, this is still bullish, probably to try and go higher until proves otherwise. Not a good location to be joining long here, but that's what it's trying to do. All right, so if you're still long, you look good for a drive to take out high of day. ES is trying to do exactly the same thing. Right, if it fails to do that, and if it starts to go sideways, then maybe you get that roll. Remember, the location, terrible, momentum, good. JD Florida Man, it is exclusive. You get it if you do the course. All right, it's just for my students. It's free when you do the course. Totally free. It's just added into the course because it's how I trade. So obviously I teach with it, so you will need it. And the course right now, if those joining who weren't here yesterday, is on sale. All right, $100 off right now. So get the 20-hour on-demand course, the flow zone indicators, and Discord lifetime membership for a one-time fee of $549. That will be the cheapest you will ever get it. It will never go cheaper than that each year. Unfortunately, it goes up in price. So if you want to join the team, now's the time. Lots of you joining yesterday. Looking forward to working with lots of you. Does it require order flow from NinjaTrader? No, it does not. It does not. So still building out liquidity here. Just trying to build that sort of flag to go higher. It might need to do a little dunkaroo before it does that. We are extended here. It's a big old move this morning, that. It's a decent move. Remember, spiders took previous day high. ES has not, but the SPY took previous day high out. The New York Open yesterday, we took it out. QQQ didn't quite do it. Almost did it. Got very, very close. Almost did it. Didn't quite do it. VIX trying to find a bid here. Back inside that key level. That demand box that it created earlier in the week. So I probably missed my... the one trade which set up this morning. I was probably a little fussy over it. I still think this wants to drift higher. Probably wants one more push if it can trap enough shorts. And then maybe we set that lower high. Tell you what, though, if it bases around 900 or 20,000 into FOMC, if it's able to hold that level into FOMC, it's allowing absolute fireworks because it then allows a huge range with a huge upside squeeze available. And also, it can come and clear out every buyer from this morning and dunk down. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pin it up there over 900 into FOMC. It would not surprise me. So drifting lower here, I still think one more drive up is available. Maybe back test some of these levels. Still think it wants that one more drive up. Trap enough shorts, have one more little push up, and then try and get going. That's sort of what it feels like to me, what it's trying to do. Here it goes. Holding flow zones right now on that push as well, building that flag. I think this goes for new highs here, folks. The only thing is I would have liked that last drive to come a bit deeper, but we did sweep this internal low. Support structure is back here. That's probably 30% for a flag, and this now looks good for that continuation higher. What I will do today, no matter what, is do a one trading day across the accounts, even if it's an in and out across all accounts and the micros, just so I add up those 8 new trading days. A lot of them will be due payout soon. Soon. Holding nicely here. VIX trying to reclaim inside 20.60. This feels like it wants one more push here, doesn't it? It really feels like it wants one more push up towards high of day. This is what it's trying to do. It's what we kept talking about. Would have preferred this drift down to be a bit more violent first. You know, we always look for, when we got something like this, wash some of these guys out. Somewhere into here would have been really good. And this just looks like it wants to get going here. And Rothable, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Yeah, I always think days like today probably people hop around, because if I don't take a trade, and even though lots of you guys took it, we were talking about this again. I'm very, very fussy. I wanted it above the New York Open, above and around 800, not beneath it. Right, that was risky because we weren't above that high. If we did it here, which is exactly what ES did, I would have taken this long here to 900. We talked about it all morning long. It was a clear trade. 800 to 900 was a clear trade. Location now for the long has gone. It would really, like, even though I think this wants to drift up, the location is not ideal. You are banging into supply right here. Think about location. Momentum's good. Location, you're coming into this level, right? Location's better down here, isn't it? This trade here to here, good location, good momentum. This trade here, good momentum, terrible location. Well, we always talk about that. Ask yourself those 2 questions before every single trade. What's the momentum? What's the location? With Apex, how many days are you allowed to do a micro in and out to make the current count? I can't remember. 3, I think. You need 5 proper trading days out of the 8, is what I believe, of over $50. And I think you can rotate 3. That is my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think that's correct. I think that's correct, but let me know if I've got that wrong. Let's see. Still building out this liquidity at the top. Remember, a pull down to be soaked would probably be best right now. It would offer you better value for that long. Sweep some of these guys out. If it gets a major fail here, then we rotate back into a sell. We come all the way down. We've done the main job here this morning. The main job here this morning was to reprice that H1 once we got over 800. It was to reprice that H1 and that thin liquidity. We've already done that. So sort of your tick box should be done. 5 days need to be 50 more, and then, yeah, and you only need 8 trading days, right? So that makes sense, which is fine. Do they drift this back down and then find a bid, or does it do an absolute slammaroo and let the short start to come in, setting that lower high? These are the questions right now. ES with a little more weakness here. NQ with more weakness here. ES holding up pretty well. ES holding up very well towards these highs right now. So getting stuck up there on the higher time frame like we talked about into supply. The question is, do they catch this? If they don't catch this and try and make a new high, then what we do is set that lower high on the higher time frame that we talked about. That will be problematic for the market, right? That will be very problematic for the market if it wants to set that lower high. Did we even get into that M5 imbalance there? I can't even see where that candle was the low. 52s. We did. We tapped it. Just about tapped that last M5 imbalance. Structure still bullish here. It's building up bullish structure for now. For that drift higher. It feels like it wants one more little push higher here. Any wash that is absorbed will be the trap. Slam would be good, wouldn't it? We can get a slam and soak for that one more push up, and then that last push up, if it traps buyers up there, that will offer a really nice lower high. So what I'm thinking is the nasty move that it could do would be this, trap shorts in, absorb, get more and more buyers in here who don't sell this, and then do this move later in the day. That would be fantastic. Remember, structure here. There's no real structure here. Where's the RBS level? Here. And here. Right, so we've just gone straight up. Do we find buyers in here for this move? The sharper it comes down, the better, really. If it comes down sharp and recovers, that's a much better move. This. Otherwise, if this is the lower high set, then we come all the way back down. Right? If it's all it's trying to do is make that lower high, remember we talked about this is why we don't like that location. Think about this in terms of structure. Think about this in terms of structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're expecting it to come down here. That changes if we reclaim this. All right, we're expecting a lower high here versus this level. If we reclaim this, that goes out the window. Talked about this all at the pre-market, all before today. We talked about both these moves. The break of 800, push to 900, the potential failure around 900, and then the potential reclaim of 900. Those are your moves for the rest of the day. Remember, I won't be here for the rest of the day, so everything I'm telling you right now will be relevant for the rest of the day. Main job was complete there. We keep talking about main job was complete. Repricing thin volume. It's already done that. So no real volume up here. Interestingly, it actually back-tested an old point of control. If you look at this here, old point of control, back-tested it, failed at the old point of control, coming back down. So value area high might get tested if it gets weak, which would be all the way back down to 800. So far, it's actually holding the trend line. Like the bear flag trend line, it sort of drifted into that. I still would like to see a dunkaroo before it does anything else, but who knows, folks? A bit thin here on the book. Very, very thin on the book. Don't know if they're waiting for something. Buyer's really not down until 8:30, 8:20, 8:30 right now. Remember, the spiders did sweep previous day high as well. On the cash, we swept previous day high. QQQ almost did it, didn't quite do it. This gives a big kill candle. That's very, and doesn't get absorbed. That's very different. You shouldn't be thinking about any more longs if it does that, right? Because that will basically confirm. We get back, if this happens and we get back under here, these are shorts at this point, right? This is then lower high, shorts down to lows. That's the difference. If we hold range, this is still available. Back into where we did that last breakout, that last flag. That's where we're trading back into. Remember, we've got that New York view up below, beneath it, the blue line. Initial balance now set as well. All right, so you're not quite midpoint, but you're not far away. So far, every pop selling. If they change that though and start doing this inverse and building that sort of flag, then we drift back towards those highs. That one push that failed to break that high, probably key right now in the market. Here we go then. Can it get going here? Book still feels very, very thin. I keep looking at the book. Trend tree. I begin to see how to read the charts a little more, and that's good. That's good, trend tree. It just takes time understanding the higher time frame. Once you learn the higher time frame, it should start to click. Once you can understand the higher time frame, what does the higher time frame want to do? And then you trade to those levels where possible. Back into this area now. So this is the first area here. If it fails under here, we come back to 800. If it fails under here, we start getting really, really weak. We go into a sell. I wouldn't think they'd want to do that before FOMC, but who knows? We said these are wild, wild days. Anything can happen. I would expect they'd try and hold around this area, even if they just pin it. Could be a micro head and shoulders. Yeah, it could be, but it's too early to say that. Right now, it can just be this. Until it proves otherwise, remember? You can draw that in. It's potential to be this, but until it proves itself to you, it's not. So far, just drifting down. Very, very controlled right now. Very controlled right now. No like big slam or anything like that. Just slowly drifting down. Every push so far being sold into since that sort of 10 o'clock. Right, this is just slowly drifting down here. This is the key level right now. And then under there, down to here. Book seems very, very thin the last few minutes watching it. Like it's really thinned out. feels like participants have already left. I'm sorry, I'm just watching. When I'm going quiet, I'm just watching the book. Right, we're down to like 5 and 10 lots. So it just might be the quiet before the storm here, but there's no one really on the book at this point. The biggest order is still that 100 lot down at 600, but he's been there all day. Other than that, the biggest order I'm seeing is like a 20 lot. Yeah, exactly. They've gone to lunch, which is funny. I said to the Discord this morning, I will be leaving here about an hour early today, so I'm probably out of here in like the next 25 minutes. There's no reason to stay here today, in my opinion. You've probably got that one good trade which set up. Maybe you get a continuation higher if you're lucky and they start squeezing it. Still holding that M5 in balance. No close beneath it. Still holding this structure here to the left. They're still trying to hold that. That lets go. Everything changes. There's a drift down to 800. So back towards the deep pullback flow zones, back towards that structure on the left. Very controlled way of getting down there. There's no panic in this market. They're controlling the selling this morning back down off that high of 900. This is a key area here. Do they find a bid here in that structure on the left? Does the maroon box at the top reference that previous high? Yeah, this is the old weekly high. Weekly low, sorry. This is this pivot here. Right, that's where we broke down from. And then the even more important one is this one up here. This is the big weekly low. Where is this? Here. Back in March 7th. So these are back test levels, and through that, it's the weekly levels. All right, so what do you have right now? Still inside bar, inside daily, inside levels, inside initial balance. That's all you've got right now. You're inside and we're into controlled. This is very controlled. Look how different this is to this. Explosive, explosive, now into controlled. If they can find bids here, they can be explosive back upside. If they keep failing here, maybe we drift back down to those 800s. I do not know. This market will do whatever it wants right now. All right. We are in FOMC day. It's going to just mess about until it's ready to do something fun. Yeah, the book's thinned right out here, ladies and gents. I'm watching the book maps thinned out. Yeah, no worries, Trentry. Yeah, that old weekly low, that sort of 20,000 is a big level. It's a big level because we looked above and failed, and we back tested it and failed. Right, just mark them out on the H1s right here. Here's the weekly level. Failed, looked above, came under, tested again, failed. This is overhead supply. Any buyer up here is trapped right now. Any buyer here is trapped right now. So they sold this morning, right? When they got their retrace in, they were like, okay, break even. We reclaim this. Shorts up here start to get nervous and cover. All right, so we're coming into sort of decision points. I'm still short biased until proves otherwise because we haven't reclaimed any level on an H1. So when I say I'm short biased, it means any long is counter trend for me. So any long, all of this was counter trend. If we get another long up, it's still counter trend. It doesn't mean it can't do it. It just means it's counter trend versus the H1 levels. Understand the multi-time frames. You want to learn more about multi-time frames? Right here. Just do the course. Go through everything in this course. Learn how to trade with this course. Invest in yourself, pay some money, learn how to trade, and you'll be all good. We go through everything. 20-hour on-demand course, plus the flow zones, plus the Discord, all for a one-time fee. All right, that's the best way to learn right now. DJ Noah, new to Traderify, not clear on the rules yet. Can you pass evals in one day on Traderify? Yes, you can. You can pass them in one day, one trade, whatever you want to do. Yes, you can. Starting to curl here, isn't it? It's trying to find a bid versus here, like we talked about. Here is the structure, all right? Come back to structure. Can it find a bid here and start to curl? If it can, it's going to try and get back towards these highs. If it cannot find a bid in this structure, we get weak. We go back down towards probably 800. If we get weak under that, we're going back way, way, way lower. Thanks for the video on them. Yeah, you're welcome. They're a great firm. They are a really, really, really good firm. All right, now you've got Trump-Zelensky call happening right now. Just hit my wire, folks. All right, so just be aware. Maybe that's why it thinned out. Everyone has been waiting for these headlines. So just be careful. If you're in a trade for any reason, you probably are about to get some news hitting the wire. You would imagine it's going to be positive. You can't imagine, after what happened last time in the White House between the two of them, that they're not going to come to some form of agreement now. M5 still holding this imbalance. No closure underneath. All right. For me, this is still technically lower time frame, technically bullish still. Lower time frame, this is technically bullish still. Thanks, Peter. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna have a nice vacation. Cannot wait to get to Mexico City. Looking at Take Profit Trader, would love your thoughts on comparing them over the two. Which account are you trading on Traderify? And then I will tell you the difference between the two. I also love Take Profit Trader. You can use code FlowZone. That would get you the best price over there. Take Profit Trader is great. You can have 5 accounts as well. And once you're over the buffer, you can withdraw money out every single day. What you need to know is that evals you can pass very easily. I think they're effectively static. However, the PA accounts are not static, right? They would run like Apex account or advanced account. So yeah, Noah. So like the growth account, best account in the game right now, I would say the 50K growth. Take Profit's great, but you've just got to be careful. You have to be careful, like running it up. Don't oversize. But what I love about Take Profit is you can pay yourself each and every day. So I'm also thinking about grabbing those when I'm back from holiday. What I might actually do is actually trade them fairly aggressively with tight stops. Lee Kim, Mexico is a great city. Yeah, Mexico City is great. I've heard amazing things, which is why I'm going. Cannot wait. My wife will get some of that for sure. I'm not a tequila and mezcal drinker, personally. I'm a whiskey boy. Not into mezcal, but my wife loves it, so I'm sure we will get some. All right, so drifting lower here, back to that New York view up. Like I said, now, if it lets go of this, we drift all the way down to this breakout point. All right, there's your lower high set, potentially on the H1, back to back test this kind of zone here. SPY getting close to view up here as well, so NQ already at its New York view up. SPY not too far away. 563.68-ish. Apple giving back here, about 1% back from its highs. Still waiting to see news right now. Oh, I just see that. Thank you, Miguel. So Tradeify have a flash sale on right now. If you use my code FZT on the 100K advanced accounts, you can get them for $45. Wow, that's half price. That is pretty good. So $45 and you can have 10 per customer. So if you're interested in getting a Tradeify advanced account, 100K account, you can get it for $45 right now. Sale will end Friday. I can post that and pin it if you want. So you can all hit the link. There you go, posted for you. So if any of you are interested in doing one of those, it's there for you. All right, still drifting down here. So it looks like we set that lower high in so far. Yeah, exactly, Andrea. Still in last week's range. We're going to continue staying in last week's range until it proves otherwise. That's why I'm, as you can tell, I'm very disinterested in trading today. There was one setup today that could have potentially happened. It was this, and I wanted it here for this move. This was a high probability move. 8 to 900 was high probability to reprice yesterday's kill candle. Now we've found, it looks like we've found that H1 sell. And look at the current H1 bar. It is a pin bar, if you like. Look at the H1 bar. It's a pin bar after repricing and coming back into range. So the afternoon, if we get stuck down here, this opens up this play. I think we went over that, if not yesterday. In Discord, we definitely went over it last night. I forget who I was talking to last night in Discord. I think it was... Where was it? Let's have a little look. Derek and Miguel. We went over this exact move yesterday in Discord. Yesterday afternoon, we talked about what might potentially set up today. All right, drift higher, reprice, sell back down. If you get stuck, it sells further. All right, still in that bear flag, still thinking about this potential move, and there you go. So plan ahead of time. Once you understand what the market's trying to do, it becomes much, much easier. So retesting where we broke out from this morning now. ES still not quite there. ES has got a little bit further to go. SPY holding a bid at VWAP right now. We have liquidity. Finally, some liquidity's come on the book here, but it's down lower. All right, 800, 790, 780, 775. Right, there's some bids on the tape. It is lower, though. The bids on the tape are lower. How can we use the liquidity now? If we reclaim, until then, right now, it's starting to try and break down into here. Again, I'm disinterested in trading today because of the day it is, because of what's going on in the markets, everything. Just kind of want to let today happen. If I was here tomorrow, I would take it. I think tomorrow is set up a really good trade because I would imagine FOMC will either have a failed breakout or a continuation breakout one side of this range, either the lows or the highs, and then you have potential momentum back into the market. I think Thursday, Friday this week can be really nice for you. SPY finding a bid on the VWAP. QQQ finding a bid on the VWAP. NQ came just beneath that New York, but it's there or thereabouts. Are they able to hold it up here? That's the question. Last hour we've just spent drifting down. Also, this move here was a failure above the bear flag, right? Had a chance to hold and couldn't on the H1. And if thinking, what is he talking about? Here's your bear flag on the H1. It had a chance to hold a bid and couldn't. Right, so back inside range again. Any hold still over 800 is key here. Any hold over sort of 800-ish, 785, 800 is key. If it's able to hold that, maybe it can have a go later in the day on FOMC. But if it's not able to hold 800, if it drifts all the way back inside old range, then it's in trouble. Kind of ugly here. It's a shame like this wasn't a bit more directional and harder to then join that. This is so controlled, very, very controlled. There's no like direct hard selling here. Look at the volume. It's not amazing volume. It's a shame there wasn't like a big candle and then this to get this or a reclaim to get this. It's just very controlled this morning. Again, still in rollover. Don't forget that. We are still in rollover. Any questions? I'll probably get out of here soon, I think, folks. You're still waiting for comments from Trump, remember. He's still on a call with Putin right now. No, Andrew, I'm not. Not coming back for FOMC. No way, Jose. I don't like trading FOMC. So many traders like try and play FOMC. Think about how much volatility we have in the market in general at the moment, right? So much volatility. We easily have 100, 200 point candles on an M1. You add FOMC into that mix, and it just feels like a complete punt to me. Everyone like, well, he's not going to cut rates. We've got recession fears, blah, 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 blah. But it all depends what's already priced in. I would argue we've priced a fair amount in already. So you just don't know how the market's going to react. I like trading when there's a nice setup. Like this morning, most of you got that set up. It didn't quite get to where I wanted. Obviously, I wanted this. I was greedy, but obviously wanted this down into 800s, right? If we built this flag down here, or if we built this flag here, anything around here, I was looking for that 100-point trade up. FOMC is not going to give me those kind of moves, right? It's going to be a little bit more wild. Yeah, we'd have to trade 1 micro on RTY for the least volatility, Vanderman said. Yeah, you're probably right. But even that, even the RTY, like small caps might react today. All the smaller caps. Right, QQQ back under VWAP. SPY right at its VWAP right here, right now. NQ still got a little bit further to go. Letting go of New York VWAP. We're back. Coming back towards where we opened up. All right, so failure above this is starting to feel more and more like a look above and fail, unless it can hold here. If it can hold here, can have another attempt. Remember, we're in range. Here's your IB. We get stuck here, we go back down towards the lows. 50-50 right now, but if we start letting go, it's problematic for this market. I'm gonna grab myself some food and a coffee. I'll be right back. All right, market's still drifting. All the way back to point of origin, all the way back to that 930 print here. All the way back to New York open, all the way back to VWAP. That lower high been set there on the hourly, it looks like. Not the cleanest short entry up there, I must say. No explosive move and give back. Boring, boring, boring. New hourly bar coming here, folks. In about 3 minutes. All right, let's see if this seller's legit who's just come on the book. 500 lot at 8.15. $8.15. 500 lot up here. Let's see if he's real. He's trying to pull the market up towards him right now. I want to see if this is the spoofer from the last few days or if he's legit. Watching him here as we drift towards him. Do they front run him? 11s. 11s. People getting scared here. Still on the book. Still not filled. People front running, selling in front of him right now. I want to see him tested because I want to know if he's legit. SPY backtesting its view up here. Come on. Come on, market. Go and test him. Let's see if this guy's real. That pulled. Pulled his order, moved it up to 825. Right, Spoofer's back in the tape. Same guy from the last few weeks. Just moved his order up from 15 to 25 as soon as it got close to him. How long did it take me to be rigid with my rules and remain disciplined without feeling FOMO? Probably a few years. Realistically, I didn't have a mentor. I had to work everything out myself, so it took me a bit longer probably. So just in continuation down here, but into key level. Right, here's your sort of trend. But you're into this key level. Remember, this is the key level that we had to hold to break out from this morning. Right, a breakout of that and a hold allowed a squeeze higher. So far, all that's happened after we've squeezed out is selling back down. We've repriced on that H1. Remember, we were expecting, I kept saying, we expect a lower high somewhere up here. It came in. Unfortunately, the setup to short that was not good. And that's unfortunate. It's just how it is sometimes. If we had done something like this, that's a nice clean setup, and we can take that all the way back down. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. So I didn't get either trade today. I didn't get the long, and I didn't get the short. And now your location for short is not good. So now if you're going to think about continuation short, it's got to really melt here, hasn't it? It's got to come and prove to you that it wants to rotate under, and come down to previous day low. Otherwise, this can be a location that they bid back up from. If this is a back test, remember, breakout, retest. If they hold this, they can try and have another attempt. I would say the delivery this morning is not the best. It's very, very controlled. Think about this. This was actually quite good delivery. This was quite good delivery. This, I guess this was your failed break. It's slow. It's not that bad, but it's slow. When we do things like this, I like to see kill candles, leaving volume untouched, return in, sell from there. That's what I like to see personally, rather than very, very controlled. Right, so finding a bid off this back test level. Remember, this can be an RBS. We break out from this level here, 800. We said 800-ish key all day. 800 key, 900 key. Yeah, he's moved up to 825, that guy. It's going to be the same guy from the last few weeks. He's either a 500 lot or a 1,000 lot. That's why when he came on, I wanted to see if he was legit. Any questions, folks? I'm probably not going to stay too long here. I'm going to have my coffee, eat this food. My wife's away at the moment on work, so I'm due to do the dog walk. And then obviously I'm on vacation the rest of the week. Right, so no trading from me Thursday, Friday, folks. I'm in Mexico City. Those who didn't know, I'm just joining late. Caught that slow drop for a few hundred. Hey, Calypso, great work. Lovely work. You all done very well. I think everyone on chat's done better than me today, because a lot of you took the long that I didn't. And some of you got the short for the sort of slow move back down. How we act in and around here will be key. It can do this or not. It can hold 800 or not. Remember, still haven't heard from Trump. He's still on this phone call with Zelensky. Wouldn't be surprised if they make a statement at some point. Spoofer just left the tape. Right, he's left the building. The 200 lot spread into 50 lots. 450 lots is still there. 780, 775, 770. Actually, he's only in 3 lots now, but he's still there. He's been there all day. That guy will be legit. He's been there all day. Where's my chat gone? There it is. All right, H1 trying to find a bit of a bid. Off the RBS level, back to New York VWAP. How we act here for the remainder of the day is going to be key. All right, if they're able to find a bid here, you will need momentum to come in, flow zones to support for any kind of upside move. Remember, it can just be a retracement to sell back down as well. Again, why am I saying all this? Because we're inside initial balance, because we're inside previous day range, because we're inside previous week range, because we're inside previous hourly range. These are the conditions where it's easy to lose and get chopped up in, all right? The easy move today was this move up. That's the easiest move, and it's been and it's gone. Who knows what they want to do with it now? I have a program, Scalen, called Bookmap. So it shows me what you can use as your level 2, or I'm trying to remember. If you're on Tradeovate or TradingView, you can use the DOM or level 2. You have to pay for full data if you want to see, big orders across the whole book. Otherwise, it probably shows you, maybe someone can answer me that, probably shows you the first 10, 20 points or something if you're not paying for all the data. But if you bring your level 2 up, it will show you. How do I get the level 2 up on TradingView? I'm trying to remember because they changed the hotkey for it. Does anyone know the hotkey for the DOM on TradingView now? I think what it will be here. I have yogurt in my mustache. Amazing. So trying to trigger a squeeze here. They're looking for that inverse move here, but it's still bearish until proves otherwise. Yeah, does anyone know the DOM hotkey or how to bring the DOM up now on TradingView? I know they moved it. Does anyone know? And then I can show people asking. The market trying to get going here. It's very, very thin on the book. Very thin upside on the book here. Trying to find a bid. SPY regaining VWAP. QQQ regaining VWAP. NQ regaining VWAP. ES never came back down to it. So holding that RBS level, but remember, counter trend today is Shift D. Let's try it, Shift D. Nope, not for me. Do I need to log into something? Oh, there we go. Yeah, all right. So this is basically what I'm looking at for those asking, but I'm looking at the whole thing on Bookmap. The whole thing. So squeeze up here. So it's a counter trend squeeze. The thing you need to be careful of, if you've got that, you should already be locking some in. Be locking some in. It's already a 50% move there. And you're coming back towards this H1 giant bear flag. And back towards where we started to fail from. Thank you, Derek. Can you show us how you drawed out that greenish box? This. What do you mean? Like, it's just a rectangle. It's just that. And colored green. Or do you mean what it's based on? Do you mean like the level is what I'm drawing it off, Trentry, rather than how to put it on the chart? Sorry, maybe I misinterpreted it. The levels, okay. Higher time frame. Where do we find bids yesterday? Or the day before? No, yesterday. Where did we find bids? Where did it become resistance? We've gapped over. Where was it key? Right, so we know RBS. Support became resistance. Once we got through, resistance became support. It's a key level. You can see it. It's a big, big key level. It's being respected. That level is being respected over and over and over again. You're always looking for levels that the market respects. That's where people are transacting. So it's in a hurry here. If we get some form of pullback here, there's possibility that flow zones flip and we can maybe think about that squeeze all the way back to high of day. But if it's just going to keep going without us, then that's what it does. It keeps going without us. Remember, we are now testing probably where buyers got stuck. All right. Location for the buy needs to be down here. And so far, it's gone straight up without us. Book so thin. So thin. This is in a hurry now, maybe to take out 64s. And you cannot enter up here. Do not chase this market. It's given no pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes straight upside. Right, even from this breakout, straight upside. 40 points up, no pullback. We're into areas where we found sellers this morning. Remember, this is probably where buyers got stuck, somewhere up here. You don't want to be buying up here. It will need to rebuild this again. If it doesn't pull back to here and you still are desperate to buy, you need to let it rebuild structure up here. Who's at my door? Might be the serviceman. Sorry about that. All right. And that 500, no, he didn't get filled. He moved. Let's see. Oh, actually, maybe at 9:30. Let me have a look. No, he pulled. I took the long time 4 times in a row, got stopped out every time. I finally go short and the market goes straight up. God is literally trading against me. You just got to be patient. Remember, that's the market's job, is to take your money. So far, all we do is go straight up. All right, so it's like drift down, 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 right back to the RBS. And then breakout and no pullback. And then think about the fib. Make sure I'm on the right chart. We've already come straight into 60% or the golden zone of this move. It's not a good buying location up here. They're making this tricky. They want people to chase. It's what they want to do right now. This was the first retest, really, after this move. We want to see structure built out here for a better value buy if we're even thinking about upside. But remember, upside is counter trend. The trend will change to not being counter trend when we get above all these levels, right? When we're up here, we can think about a bigger long. It will still be counter trend on a daily, but it will be, you know, a much better proposition. Remember, FOMC later today. People are probably just positioning themselves, moving in and out of contracts that they need for later today. You've still got rollover. They're still rolling over. SPY and ES back to where we failed from. Same as us. Remember, this is where buyers got stuck. This is the 61. This is golden zone from here to here. There's the retracement. You would need it to come back to here and hold. It would need to do this for you to even consider buying right now. If you're buying up here, you're asking to get hurt, even if it goes. Get in good habits, right? Don't chase the market up. You took this, that's a legit play, all right? That's a legit play. If you took that, that's a legit play. But you should be paying yourself some money. Market's still thin. Still thin. IDF aims to create a partial buffer zone between North and South Gaza. I think I just read there. Can we build liquidity out here? Does it offer a pullback and a hold or a potential move back to high of day? Or is this a squeeze out and we go all the way back down? Those are the questions right now. Cannot be chasing long up here. You will get hurt. This will need a pullback into a level where we broke out from for you to consider it. It did build out a big old M5 imbalance in that last squeeze out because this was straight up. Straight up can mean straight down. Straight up can mean straight down. You'd want to see it hold somewhere around here if you're even thinking about the long. It lets go of it, then it's a squeeze and all the way back down, and it's just going to frustrate people over and over again. All right, buyers got frustrated here and here and here and here, and eventually they get their breakout. Like I said, I'm very patient on days like this. Often I'm not really interested, especially when I miss that first trade, because we're inside. You've got to understand when it's like good conditions for your setup. We are inside absolutely everything right now. It's not like You have shorts trapped in this market and it has to go upside. We just did the rebalance move upside in the last hourly bar. Right, it doesn't have to go any further. We kept talking about it can set a lower high at 900. 900 to 920 was the level. Go back to the start of this stream. We talk about this move. Reclaim 800, 900. Then you're taking partials on the way because you don't know when they set that lower high, higher time frame. You must look at the higher time frame. If you're zoomed in to this, you're not going to understand what it's doing and why. The story is being written here. This is telling you the story. This rebalancing into supply. This is telling you the story. Failure under here, roll down. Hold of here, possibly squeeze higher. Hold of here, definitely open for a squeeze higher. H1 and daily will tell you the story. The M1 is not telling you the story. The M1 is for executing on. If you don't like executing on the M1, execute on the M2 or M5. Don't have to execute on the M1. M1 moves very, very fast. Hopefully that makes sense, folks, right? Just do not get drawn in to the lower time frame. You've got to understand the higher time frame narrative. Traders who fail often are not looking at the higher time frame. They are so zoomed in to the M1. The amount of traders I watch on live stream, 2 of them are on BDH right now, who get very, very, very focused into the M1 will get whipped around. There are tons and tons and tons. I've been there. I've done it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Understand H1 narrative. Institutions do not care about a little 1 minute chart. All right. They're looking at weekly, daily, H4, H1. That's all they care about. That is all they care about. They're not looking for these little scalps. There's a reason we failed up here. All right. We called it. There's a reason we called it pre-market before we even got there. Have a look here. My morning talk with my team. Acceptance over 800 can allow a drift to backtest 925. Otherwise, we're building out a flag right here. This is what we did. This move here is what we did. I'm going to zoom that out a bit. This one up to 900, and then we started to roll. This is still potential here. Okay, so this squeeze here can turn into this roll here if it wants. You must understand the higher time frame. That all comes from higher time frame. It's not like I'm Nostradamus. It's not like I'm super intelligent or anything like that. It's just the market's telling you what it wants to do. It's setting up high probability trades. Back to New York VWAP we go. You watch the traders who are doing really well at the moment, like Jade Capital. He's trading H1 bars. That's what he's trading. H1 bars. You look at Kane, that $1.8 million run he did last year. He was trading H4, H1 bars. It's exactly what he was trading. They are not getting caught up in these like micro moves. What is the VIX? The VIX, what the current? I mean, he probably is a bit of a furu, but he's actually a good trader. He's up $1 million this year on Apex alone, and he's trading H1. I don't agree with everything he says, but he won't agree with everything I say. That's just being traders, right? You have different opinions, but I can tell you right now, he's trading H1 bars. Yeah, but the thing is, this is what people don't understand. Because you're trading an H1 narrative doesn't mean you execute on the H1, right? So you understand what the H1's going to do, but your risk is based off an M5, an M15, an M3, an M2, an M1. Does that make sense? That's why we play pro trend. This is starting to hold that key level that we just talked about. I got caught monologuing there, right? Like we talked about. We'd have to come back to here, and it held it. This is what we were just talking about. That was a very good trade there, and I got caught talking too much. So if you took that long, you should scalp some out here because you know sellers got stuck here. If it continues higher, we go high of day. Right? If it continues higher, we go high of day. And then 925 if it really, really wants to get going. It's in a rush now. I got caught monologuing. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? How do you add runners in TradingView? What exactly does it mean? And how do I hold on to some of the units without selling all of them? So if you're trading like one or twos, when you're coming to here, all right. So if you're already like bought in 3, you should be changing your unit down to like 1, or setting a limit of like sell 1. You can set a limit up of 1 rather than, you know, selling all 3 in one go. Oh, that was a beautiful trade I've just missed there. Monologuing. That was the first hold. Like we said, you don't chase, you wait for it to come back in. Here's your RBS level. Break of here, we're looking at the same thing. Create liquidity here, we're looking at a sweep of these highs. Looks good for it, but I've missed it now. So there you go. That's what happens when you teach and you get caught. Yeah, you missed it. Listen to, I mean, it was only when we were here at 11:10. I said you got to wait for this to come back to this zone. Literally said it, and then stopped looking at the charts and started talking. Hey, Ray. Yeah, some of you caught it. Like I said, thank God for that. At least some of you are listening to what I'm saying, and all of you who are students in the room know exactly what you're doing anyway. Wisdom lover, I caught it and listened at the same time. Oh, I'm a typical man. I'm incapable of doing 2 things at once, clearly. I can either make fire, make food, or do the other thing that begins with F. I can't do all 3 at once. Yeah, fish. Yeah, fish. All right, still trying to build out liquidity here. All right. If it builds out that sort of micro inverse shoulder up here, it's got a chance for that little squeeze out. That's what it's trying to do. But we left imbalances on that last drive up. Right, big drive up here. It's left imbalances. Can easily, like I keep saying, when it squeezes up, it can easily come back down. Just as easily come back down. But it's trying. It is trying to build out some form of liquidity up here for a potential move to high of day. But what I would say is we swept. These all got swept. All right, these guys got swept. So we can build new range here. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Jeff, you took it? Nice. You're all just going to make me feel stupid, aren't you? I took it. Thanks, Alex, you idiot. Thanks for telling me what's going to happen and not taking it yourself, you absolute idiot. What kind of idiot does that? All right, still looking good here. It's trying to get ready for that inverse head and shoulder. That last dip down, repriced, reheld. If we can get going here, we're looking for a squeeze up. I'm going to try and join this for a tiny base. We can get this squeeze up. We've got to get through 75s, right? Through 75s takes us high of day. Through high of day, we're going to go 925s for a reprice. Remember, all these longs are counter trend. Thank you very much. Here we get going. So Alex finally gets something for the day. All right, take a little partial here and then try and hold for high of day and then 925 if we're going to get going. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Finally, he calls 3, but he actually gets 1. Looking good here, folks. Looking good here. Teach everything on the course. Everything is taught on the course. This is fantastic. Look at this. Here's the shoulder. Boom, boom, boom. Held the old trend. Where are we going? Liquidity here. Next level here. Through that. 900, 925. Anything above that is a bonus. You should already be paying yourself a little bit of money here. Remember, longs are counter trend. We finally scored some. Thank God. W's in chat, please. I want lots of W's in chat after this. Come on. Come on, market. VIX tapping on low of day here. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit. The reason I'm saying for that is because we're counter trend. Longs are counter trend. Right, if we can get through 900, if we can get up to 925, if we get above that, fantastic. But it does not have to do it. It does not have to do it. Lovely. Coop, Brad, Miguel, locking some in. I love it. All right, so that dip down really paid, didn't it? Why did it dip down? Where did it dip down to? Here's your imbalance. Here's your trend line. Here's your shoulder. Here's your head. Even from this, fib to fib, here's your flagpole, right? 30. All in the course. If you're like, what is he on about? It's all in the course. Just do the course. Do yourself a favor. Because otherwise, how I'm teaching and how I'm talking on stream is just going to sound like gobbledygook. Alex, can you explain why it was a bad buy here last time and it's a good buy here this time? Yes. So last time, do you mean why it was a bad buy here? Because we'd gone straight up, all right? So there'd been no relief. This was not confirmed yet. Here's your pullback in, all right? Here's your RBS. So there we go. Here's the hold of trend. So we get a higher high and a higher low, right? We came back here. I'm going to just take some of these out now so it makes sense. We came back to here and we left the stops here, all right? So anyone who's short up here, their stops up here. We leave this imbalance. Here's good buying volume. You can see engulfing candle, leaving imbalances. We dip down to the flow zones, which are in a buy signal. This is your hold, right? This here matches this. There's your head. There's your right shoulder. Momentum comes back in. An easy buy is to take out this liquidity here with the target being up here. So it makes sense. Bang, partial. If we rebuild, partial, and then up, right? It's about momentum. Momentum and who's in control of the market, right? We don't buy this up here when we've gone straight up because this is what happens. Ow, ow, that fucking hurt. I don't want to do that, all right? And we don't know if you buy up here, there's no guarantee it doesn't come all the way down here. But once we set that higher low, squeeze, breakout, higher low, hold a view up, squeeze, pull back, balance, liquidity left, we're going higher. It's telling you now, I want to go higher. Join me long, I want to go higher. It's telling you. All right, and you join it long and you take some profit on the way. Because again, why do we lock in some profit? Because the H1 is telling us that until we get up into these levels, sellers can keep coming in these levels. Until we get acceptance above here, sellers can keep coming in. So longs today are counter trend and you pay yourself some money. Does that make sense, Yulamar? Hopefully that makes sense. Small size, small W. Hey, we'll take it. On days like today, we'll take it. Remember, range today, I mean, technically the range is just under 200 points, but most of the range today, this was hard to take. I guess there was a short here, but I don't really like how that built out. This I missed monologuing, and we get a tiny bit here, and we hold now. See if we can get up here. Bonus points if we get up there, really, on a day like today. No worries, Yulamar. Yeah. Si, senor. Oh, I like that name. That's clever. Clever play on words. All right, so hopefully you've paid yourself. If this starts failing here, it can rotate all the way back down to that low. It's why we pay ourselves. We're counter trend long. We're counter trend long and we hold on to some. Needs to protect its pivots here. Failure to protect pivots. Inside initial balance. Where can we fail? We can fail inside initial balance. So far we've rotated from the IB to the VWAP. From the VWAP, maybe we can get up to the IB if we're lucky. If we get acceptance above the IB, then you have auction theory. If it holds the auction, the only problem is we've got supply, but if we hold an auction, we're going to try and drift all the way up here. A failed auction will probably be a tap into this supply, turn back inside the IB and fail back down, right? That would be a typical initial balance failed auction play, won't it? Here's your IB. Failed auction will be a look above and a fail. Hold auction will be a look above, a hold, and a continuation play. cannot say it enough. Just do the course. I'm not trying to oversell, but I can imagine if you're new turning up here, you're like, what is this guy on about today? It's probably quite hard to retain it all. Looking good here, folk. We look very, very good here. That right shoulder building out, a new flag building out. If enough shorts get trapped here, we can go for that initial balance move into 900. You must lock some in towards the initial balance, and then anything above that becomes an absolute bonus. All right, an absolute bonus. Christy W says, I've been hands off today. I'm planning a payout on Friday and I don't want to mess it up. I might trade micros after FOMC. I do not blame you at all there, my friend. You've got a payout looming. Today is not the day to be trading, is it? Looking good. Looking good. And we just want this market to get going a little bit here because this micro is inside of a bigger. Yeah. We can abuse this liquidity. We go upside. Looking very, very nice. Why wouldn't it not delete that? Get out of there. Get out of there. There we go. All right. Not far now from the 900s. VIX new lower day. Do I ever look at the yearly? Only if I'm going back to look at like what we did in like 08, 07 or 85 and stuff like that. Otherwise, no, not really. Monthlies. Monthlies, very, very occasionally quarterlies. If I'm looking at quarterly seasonal trends. But no, I'm not really interested in the yearly. The tapping on the door. Be careful here. If we just start doing this, be careful here. That's why you must pay yourself. Remember, we're long from here. Somewhere in here, we're long. You want this to keep doing this and go up. It's going to be the last trade of the day for me. Well, the last. It's going to be the only trade of the day for me. I look at weekly, daily, H4, H1, M5, M15, M1. That's how I trade. You should already know that, Wisdom Lover, if you're here in the mornings, because it's exactly what we go over every single morning. Nate the Great, I missed the entry view apps. I'm just waiting to see what happens at IBH. Yeah, good patience. Just wait now. Just wait now. Like we said, building that liquidity upside, it's not very pretty the way we're building it. It needs to be holding, I would say, basically this level here. We can't hold this, we come and sweep this. Remember, because we're building like that. That's not very pretty. So we're entry here or entry here. Some of you were smart and listened to me and got the entry here. You should be paying yourself in this move upside. You should not be full size right now. We're counter trend. There's no guarantee it goes all the way to 900. It's what we'd like, but it's not guaranteed. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that. You have a good rest of the week. I'm sure Coop will be keeping everyone safe, as he always is. My right-hand man. Coop saying, once again, patient pays. No need to push buttons early on in the session. Exactly. You just have to wait. So all you got to do is wait. The market will set up over and over and over again. Sometimes it won't. All right. Sometimes, like yesterday. Yesterday was a good one where we nailed that short at the open. All right. We missed this first part. I'm trying to think. We missed this. Maybe it was like here. I'm trying to remember. I think it was here. We got this. And then I was like, we'll probably go sideways all day. Okay. There's the building of liquidity all day long. That's the day where you walk away. If it doesn't set up for you, you walk away. The reason it did that is because we traded back into a higher time frame level of demand where it was trying to soak and build out. And we're still in the same area today, really. You think about it, we've moved up a little bit, but it was the breakout of yesterday's area. If you think about where we ranged yesterday, it's the breakout and the hold of this area, which might allow us to get back into here. So it's a structural play right now. It's trying to hold the level that we broke out from versus yesterday's afternoon. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be fun. I am going to leave this sale on while I'm away. All right, this sale, close end sale, will end Sunday night at midnight. All right, so any of you who are considering doing that, this will still be available while I'm away. Code Easter at the checkout. 20-hour course, flow zone indicators, Discord for lifetime, one-time fee, $5.49. That's all it's going to be with that code. All right, it'll be available while I'm away. Tradeify is still on sale. All right, remember, my favorite accounts right now are the 35% off on the 50K accounts. Those are my favorite accounts right now. They also have a special sale on today. $45 for a 100K advanced account. You can have a max of 10 of those. That will end Friday. It's pinned in the chat. Code FCT will get you that. But my preferred one remains the growth account. They are the easiest to pass. But if you want to do the 100Ks, by all means, go for it. They're very, very cheap. But I think still the best value is at 35% because you don't have to pay the activation fee. There's no activation fee. That's why they're so good. That's why they're so good. Still building out, still holding on here. You still look good for holding these runners. All right, all the time it's holding, still have the ability to go and run high of day. Lots of stops up at that high of day. Hey, Redline, how's it going? Getting very, very close here. Another like 12 points and we'll get up to that high of day. It's not very much. It can happen like that. It's trying to make its move right now. ES trying to do exactly the same thing. VIX tapping on low of day. So we just want to see this break and go. If it can't do it, it will clean up the liquidity of this sort of trendline liquidity. It will come back down, dunk it, and then maybe have another attempt. Failed. Third attempt will just be inside range. Hopefully today, if anything, I know I missed a lot today. We talked about it and you all got it. But if anything, hopefully it's made you see that you don't have to force your way in. Understanding the conditions are really, really important. We're not really playing with that much range right now, right? We talked about it all morning. 800 hold takes us to 900. Acceptance over 900, 925 takes us to 20K. Acceptance over 20K causes a bigger squeeze, all right? A bigger squeeze in the market. Higher time frame traders will start to get squeezed in the market for acceptance over that, or definitely acceptance over 20,180. But I'd say 20,000-ish, or 20,050, very, very big level. But really 20,000, that weekly low that we put in a few weeks ago. That's the level that everyone's watching. Acceptance over that, we start sort of changing narrative in the short term for a run further up, maybe back towards the 20-day. All right, acceptance over it. Show you what I'm looking at. Here's an old weekly low. So far, look above and fail. Acceptance over this can allow a move back into somewhere like this, into the 20-day. If we think about that on a weekly, we have an imbalance here. All right, we have an imbalance here we can fill. So acceptance over here, we have a gap and an imbalance to fill. Makes sense, doesn't it, that we can drift upside and then try and find a higher time frame, lower high. Looking good here, folks. You're looking very, very good. If you caught this one here, you're up 80 points right now, or near enough. 70 points. Okay, Trump talking. We are very much on track. He's talking about him and Zelensky. Like I said, I would be very surprised if it's negative news to come out of this with Trump and Zelensky after their last press conference. It's likely to be a bit of relief here. So he might be having some positive spin. Let's get out of Discord here. Need that for my news. Let's see what he says. I will ask Secretary Rubio and National Security Advisor Waltz to give an accurate description of the points discussed. All right, so we're expecting a presser from them, I'm guessing. So here you go. Here's high day coming up right now. Lock some in, please. Anything over this is a bonus now. Remember, 925 next level. And through that and acceptance, you're holding runners. So beautiful trade here. We got it in the end. W's in chat, please. Smash that like button. Hit the W's in chat. Those of you who are patient, all right, I lost at least 50 of you today on stream, probably thinking we're never going to get a trade with this guy. Those of you who are patient got paid. You got paid. And let's face it, all right, if you got paid, all you had to really do, it's 11:42. We've been on air for like 2 hours, 10 minutes. Some of you got all 3 trades. Some of you only got 1 trade. 1 good trade's all you need, all right? Sorry if you had to wait 2 hours to get it or whatever, but you still got it and made money. It's better than learning bad techniques and getting slapped. So let's see who got this. Nice work, team. Coop got it. Of course he did. My right-hand man, absolutely killing it. Lee Kim got it. Array got it. Jay Canup1 got it. JD Florida Man got it. Reagan Everett got it. Camille got it and says, man, I love your channel so much. Thank you, Camille. It means a lot. Si Senor got it. I love that name. So good. Calypso got it. That's at least your second winner today. Nice work, Calypso. Jimbo got it. John Dennis got it. Jesse M got it. Capt got it. Johnny Boy got it. High five, everybody. Nice work. GG's, guys. Yeah, exactly, Nate the Great. GG's. Right, they're still adding liquidity higher, all right? 9.5, 9.10, 9.15, 9.20, 9.25. Remember, 9.25 is a big level for us. After that, we're looking at that sort of 20,000 level. W, even while working most of the evening. Nicely, Ron. All right, but you should have been locking in most of your profit here, team. All right, you should be down to very, very small lot size here. Exactly, Ironclad. Burrito money. Burrito money. I don't think any eggs or avocado in it today. Maybe just some like beef and cheese. A little bit of tomato and salsa. We didn't get that avocado money. But we did all right there. It's like 40 points already. It's not so bad. If you caught the dip to VWAP for that head, you got like basically 80 points or so. It's not bad, is it? But the range isn't there. Like if we got most of the range, if we think about this, if most of the range today is 100 points, right? We're not interested in down here. So we've been trading this range here, this range here. We got, if that was your risk, it wasn't, but if that was your risk, it's still a great trade. So continuation higher here. Hold on to your runners. See what we get. Doing good. Thank you. Thank you, John. Doing good. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, as far as I know, I'm not sure they're totally transparent with me all the time, but as far as I know, doing good. Thank you for asking. Can tell who are the old members and been here a long time. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to end up trading with you here until lunch. I thought I was going to get off early, but we got that one trade and it was worth hanging around for. So we're at the initial balance now. ES has not taken out its IB high, but I tell you what has happened. Both the SPY and the QQQs have taken out previous day highs. The NQ and the ES hasn't because we left Asia and London higher. But in terms of cash, we've taken it. All right, so just be aware. Please don't get off whilst we're here. I'll wait until lunch, mate. I'll give it 15 minutes. But you should have locked like 75, 80% in at least. At least. It's a good move. It's a good move. In this market condition, that is a good move that you just got. Don't be giving back loads when we just took the liquidity. All right, we did the move. The patience was wait. All right. We waited. There's the back test of RBS. It could have held here and it failed to hold it. We wait. There's the break of the channel. I missed this and I said, don't long here. We need a dip back down and a test. There's your dip and test. If you caught that, great. If like me, you caught that, fantastic. And we're selling most here because this is trendline liquidity. What can this do? Wank can trap all those late buyers if it wants to. Remember, all the late buyers stops here, stops here, stops here, stops here, stops here. All right. If it wants to quickly do that, it will do it. If it wants to just go IB day, a B day, that sounds bad, doesn't it? If it wants to do an IB day, initial balance day, it would go IB high, VWAP, VWAP, IB high. IB high, maybe failed auction, VWAP. Also possible. Everything here is possible right now. You should be staying bullish. You're not looking for shorts. There's absolutely no reason to short this. You are in a buy signal. You are in a buy signal. You're in flow zone up and you're at the IB high. But this location is not a location to buy from. Right, momentum, good. Location, not good. Down here, location, good. Makes sense, everyone? Alan Powers, new here. What does RBS stand for? Resistance becomes support. It's just Malaysian SNR. Right, a lot of what I trade looks like smart money concepts. It's Malaysian SNR. This is your resistance level. Breakout. There's your breakout trade. There's your pullback. Your first pullback to hold. Resistance becomes support in here. Yeah, so where are we trading up to? We're trading up to an SBR level. What's this here? Support, support, support became resistance. Support becomes resistance, right? For those of you who trade like smart money concepts, order block. For those of you who trade supply and demand, supply block, S1 block, right? It's all the same thing, right? It's all the same thing. It's exactly the same. It's just labeled different ways. The reason I like calling it SBR and RBS because I think it's very easy for students to understand. It makes sense. It really makes sense. Like I said, look at the ETFs. QQQ, SPY, both have taken previous day high. What was hanging there? Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit taken. We've taken the low-hanging fruit trades today. I really think you've had the best trades. Now, really, you're either holding a runner or you're waiting for FOMC. One or the other. The opening range also played today, I think. Let's have a look. That first 15-minute range. 45, yeah. If you think about this opening range, that's your orb today. Found the reversal, 9:45, 10 o'clock. Breakout of the orb, back to the orb, which was also high time frame level, and continuation. So orb held. Still look good here. No reason to get out yet. Still hold 25%, 10%, whatever you're comfortable with. Still holding flow zones. Structure's still good, isn't it? Breakout, pullback, hold. Breakout, pullback, hold, right? See how it's the same thing every time frame. Still looks good. It's still drifting higher. Yes, still going higher. We're into supply levels. We are coming into backtest these supply levels. That red box, all right, this is a supply level up here. This is a SBR level, right? This up here. It's a big, big level. We get acceptance through that and keep going. Looking good here. Look at this. Squeezing up into that red block. All right. Do not action new trades here. You do not want to be buying up in supply. All right. Your location is not good. VIX coming back down towards previous day low. How it acts here is going to be important. I mean, you look good here. Whole market looks very, very good here. Squeeze. All right. Pay yourself a little bit more if I was you in towards these 920s, 925s. Pay myself a bit more. This is a beautiful trade now. It was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. All right, if we get acceptance between 925 and 20,025, so it's another 100-point range, we will build out liquidity to move higher. If we get acceptance up here, we are fractal for this move. Acceptance over this liquidates high of week. Then what do you have? Monday, those who've done the course. Tuesday, what's your weekly range? What happens here? Think about it. Those in the course. What have we protected? What are we about to violate? Think about what that sets up. All right. Those who've done the course, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone else, I'm not giving you my edge. Big, big edge. Looking good here. Looking real nice. Real nice. Getting squeezy. Shorts getting panicky. Here we go. So 25s on deck. Through that. 20,000, 20,000, 25s. Another 100 points here. If it can sustain a bid. I don't expect it to sustain a bid. But if it can and shorts got stuck, can keep going. That's why you hold runners. Yulamar, I had a bad trade by myself now, and I just hesitate and missed your call. I'll catch the next one. Hey, always plenty more days ahead. Don't stress out. Plenty more days ahead. Drifting higher. 25 now taken. All right, so we're into supply block. We're into levels where buyers got stuck yesterday. Those pre-market buyers, they are stuck up here. So the question is, does supply hold, or are all the shorts intraday causing enough of a squeeze? We look so good. What a trade. Thank God we took it. Multi-time frame long right now, playing out. Really, really nice. Lyndall, I'm so grateful for your teaching. If you keep streaming and I make money, I promise you on my firstborn son, I'll buy your course from my profit. You don't know me, but I keep your promises. I appreciate that. No need to make a promise like that, though. It's absolutely fine. But I just appreciate you turning up every day and the kind words. Don't need anything else. If you want to buy the course because it helps you, fantastic. If you don't, it's also okay. It's absolutely fine. What a nice trade. What a nice trade. Should be down to tiny, tiny, tiny size here. We will reload if we get acceptance, but I don't really want to reload into lunch on an FOMC day. But I'm wondering, the higher we go, are they going to just start unwinding all of these shorts? Are we going to go for a big old squeeze out on FOMC? Or is this the trap? Is this drive up luring in lots of buyers into a supply zone and they just absolutely dunk it? All these things are still possible because we're just in a zone. Again, higher time frame. All I'm looking at is what are we going to do in here? All right, because if I did say it, if we base up here into FOMC, it wouldn't surprise me. Why would it not surprise me? Because we've got resting liquidity here and resting liquidity here. So they can go very easily. They can go very easily. They can go and they can go. All right. So it allows them to raid higher time frame stops. By placing it up here, it encourages people to get involved. But we're still into a supply zone up here. This is not a buying location. It's going to keep going higher if it wants, but it's not offering you a buying location. The buying location was here, here, and here for this move. You do not buy up here. You are opening yourself up to that move, or that move if it wants. Don't buy high. Very simple, isn't it? You do not buy high. What are the questions we ask every time? Momentum is good. Location is terrible. Does that equal a buy? No. Momentum is good. Location is good. Does that equal a buy? Yes. Right? Two simple questions every time. For a short right now, momentum is terrible. Location is good. Does that equal a short? No. No, it doesn't. All right, 2-3 more minutes, and then I'm out of here. I'm going to close this trade into lunch. And we are now up a considerable amount of points here. If you joined where I got in, you are already up. Oh. 60, 70 points. All right, you're already up loads. Loads and loads and loads. I got in here. Partial, partial, tiny size left. How far can we go? Any dip down under here in this? No bueno, no bueno. All right. Do not want to see this Trade back underneath here. Why? What can this be? Failed auction above IB. What does this allow? Trend line sweep. All right. This is why you should be tiny size now. There's nothing wrong with getting out of this if you want to. You should be tiny size. You're very, very close to lunch. What does that mean? New hourly bar is on the way. What have we just done? Swept the old hourly bar. What is the old hourly bar? Here. Failure to hold this is the old hourly high, will mean an hourly trade inside. Failure to hold this on the initial balance will mean a failed auction. Lots of things still possible here. Create a strategy for yourself. Understand it. Should not just be hammering in and out. You should understand why and when you're taking a trade, right? Really, really important. It makes your psychology easier as well. I know some people asked me this morning, like, when did it become easier to stick to my rules and stuff like that? It's when I had confidence in my playbook. All right. When I had confidence in, hey, I know if I stick to this, I win X amount of times. I think it's like 72% win rate. I think in the last 6 months, it's even more. And that's not from not taking losses. I will happily eat a loss. But most of my losses are very small or break even, or like even the small wins are basically break even losses. Alex, letting you know I'm going to be on holiday all of next week. I may try and pop in if I get a chance, but I'll mostly be back on stream with you the following week. Enjoy your holiday, sir. Hey, Leron, you enjoy your holiday as well. Don't even bother hopping on. Don't bother. I used to do that. Enjoy that week off. You're not going to miss anything. The charts are going to be here when you're back. Don't take your laptop. Don't open TradingView on your phone. Completely ignore it, all right? I used to be like that. I used to go on holiday to Europe for like 2 weeks. I'd open up. I'd be annoyed, being like, oh, I missed that huge puke, or I missed that huge run. No such thing. No such thing. It would be there when you're back. It's really good to get off the charts and into nature for an extended period, especially if you're going away with family or friends. So you have a fantastic holiday, Leron. Don't worry about the charts. They will be there. The charts are always going to be here. Market's not going anywhere. All right, folks. I'm just about done. You've got this new hourly bar coming in 20 seconds. Do you have any questions before I sign off? Because I won't be here now until Monday, remember. No trading from me until Monday. Any questions before I sign off? Just be careful. If you're going to trade FOMC, you're a braver man than me. So please be careful if you're going to do that. You're still holding initial balance here. You still look good. You still look good here. If it fails to make a new high here, that's when I'd be very, very cautious and taking the rest off. Thanks, Trentry. Appreciate it. Thanks, Coop. Yeah, speak to you next week, buddy. Thanks, BU. Thanks, everyone. Really, 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 really appreciate it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my stop up nice and tight. I'm going to go for 07s. So even if it does a little stop hunt there, I don't care anymore. And I'm done. So that can do whatever it wants. Thanks, Yulimar. Thanks, Radar. Thanks, Array. Nice one, Brad. I'll give you a call later. Omalabi, thank you. Good to see you in chat again. All right, guys. Big, big love. I'm about to get stopped out here on that runner, which is absolutely fine. Big love, everyone. And trade safe into FOMC. Please use hard stops if you're going to trade. All right, please, 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 especially on FOMC. Please size down. Please consider not trading your own money or not trading your PAs. All right, maybe use like the eval accounts and stuff like that on FOMC. If it's your first FOMC, right, it's going to do nasty things. That's just what FOMC does. All right, so you've got the newsprint, which actually comes on the inflation, and then you've got the Q&A with Powell. All right, we know he loves to talk. He loves to talk, and you can absolutely bet that they're going to ask him some tricky questions when it comes to tariffs, China, Mexico, Canada. He's going to try and not answer them, but he's going to have to answer some of them on economic pressure. That's what the news algos are looking at. That's when the book's thin. That's when you get 100, 200 point moves and then slam back down. Don't get caught in that. Let him finish talking if you're going to do it. Let him finish yapping on. Trade what I would call like the afterglow. Trade it when it's calmed down a bit, once you see where the liquidity is, once you've got structure in front of you, then you can consider a trade. Or do what I normally do, sack it off, come back tomorrow, all right, and trade when the market's a bit thicker, where we go, hey, these are the levels that we put in. This is where I know pain points are. Now we can trade. All right, peace out, everyone. Those in Discord, I will do my best to pop in the next 2 days, all right, every now and again. But I'll be on my phone, so I'll be limited. Peace and love. Be kind. See you soon.